Hi friends, we have a very important topic to discuss today, the journey from CCNA to CCI. And I'm going to show you a few very interesting slides that the company they should use. Suppose if they do not use those strategy and those things, then they will go in fall. You will understand while watching those slides. I will clearly mention you the success story and the failure story as well. Now this is the cartoon, and this is some of the pics from the networking world. So as a networking engineer, when you start, when you are L1 or you are in the operations, then your life is like a king. Then you start digging deep into the network technology, and then finally reaching till CCI, you'll become, like this situation. And now this is in terms of hard work, but if you see in terms of money, and I have shared one of the video already, I uploaded that the salary structure of CCI in India and abroad, and you'll find that the salary is exponential. Salary will increase like anything if you become CCI. If you have 2 CCI, 3 CCI, then your demand will be good. But now things are changing actually. So if you compare the salary of CCI 5 year back, and now if you compare the salary of the engineer, or salary of other IT professionals, like someone is doing cloud, someone is doing automation, DevOps, etc., you will find that there is change. Why there is change? Because there is change in the strategy for companies as well. So try to understand the change. What change is there? Now, first of all, I always tell this thing that you should have the T-shaped skill. That means in one core area, you are the expert. No one can touch you. But in other fields also, you should have the knowledge. So what I'm telling here is that this is important that you have CCNP level knowledge in other areas, like you are good in security, you are good in data center, you are good in routing, switching, etc. Means you are through the platform, you're good. And in one area, you have done your CCI. So if you have one CCI, for example, if you have CCI in data center, you are very good in data center technologies, like how Nexus switch is working, the storage switches are working, the compute, the overall fabric, how the extension of DC, security, virtualization, those things you are very much good and comfortable. Correct. Now, this is surprising, but now companies, they are looking for, or they are giving much more preference. So CCNP, I'll give him higher end, one CCI. And that's the fact of the market today. So companies, they are looking for T-shaped, or maybe if it is not flat T, but still if it is like this type of shape. I don't know what shape is this. This is the rectangle. So rectangular type of shape knowledge they want. That means they want CCNP level of knowledge. If we have in different area, I'll write 1, 2, 3. At least in 3 different areas, you have CCNP is like network professional. That will be greater than CCI in one area. That's the common norm nowadays. So if you're preparing for CCI, you do your preparation, get the certification. I have 2. You also go and do it, but in terms of job, in terms of salary, if you want quick enhancement, if you want quick salary growth, then you can easily go and do 3 CCNP. Correct? Choose your areas. First of all, routing, switching, data center, and security. These 3 core areas, if you do your CCNP, obviously you will get the attention from various companies. Correct. Now I'll show you the important slide. So what is happening nowadays, that you will see, and why this is very important. This is not that we are in even 2000, or maybe 2010 also. That also we can compare. So 2010, and if you check the technology in 2020, like only a 10-year span, what is happening? Now every year some technology, we have major changes. That means that you have to go and learn the new things every year. Now this frequency was 5 year. So after every 5 year, there was some major change in the technology. And this is true for software. This is true for hardware networking as well. Why? Because in network now you have software defined network. So you will see every year or maybe every 1.5 year, you have to learn major things. You can see now in Cisco, you have to learn SD-WAN, ACI, both are SDN platform. Then DNA is coming. DNA is already so many companies, they are using DNA digital network architecture. Correct. So be ready. And suppose if you're looking for this type of knowledge, it's impossible. Correct. That you can't have expert level. You can't make multiple T's. It's impossible. It will take 15, 20 or 15, 20 years. It's not possible. Correct. It's possible, but it's difficult and it's time consuming. And the moment you're studying your CCI, preparing your CCI for 1-2 year, again major change in the industry, major change in the technology, then what we will do? So someone was preparing for routing and switching, suddenly the certification got changed to CCI Enterprise. And in CCI Enterprise, you have DNA, you have SD-WAN, you have so many new things. You have automation, scripting, etc. Correct. So be focused. What you are studying, you are studying, and all of sudden things will get changed. So be ready for the change. That's one key thing. And finally, talent is critical. Talent is a key. So that was the thing that I was telling earlier in my video, in the starting of my video, that companies, they are looking for talented engineers. And what's the reason? So as per the study, let me show you, the study is telling that if a company having talented people, you can see that 33% people are talented, that has more successful than a company has 29 or less than 29% of talented people. So the success story, how it is building, and again, this is from different studies and surveys, this particular chart and graph. So success story is measured. How it is measured? It is measured with 3 pillars: technology, people, and process. You should have process. Most of the companies, they have process, correct? And you can see that the successful companies, they have 26% process with compared to the companies they are failing. Again, you know, the term like micromanagement type of thing. So big company, they don't have such much of that much of micromanagement, who is doing what, who is logging at what time, etc., etc. You know, all these things. And big companies, they are giving the task. So they have the trust on the employees. They are giving the task to the employees, and they are assuming that they will complete within the time. That's the key here. So if you have talented employee, obviously they will do it. If you don't have, it will not get completed. So either it's a IT model or business model, you can see the success. And this is very, very important, the study we have. And finally, you can see that early developing and maturing. So the matured company, like from 5 or 10 years from now, they will put so much emphasis on the over the technology. Still, they will give emphasis over the people, talented employees. And then finally, you can see that process. So process will get decrease, talented people will come, they will do the collaboration. Obviously, they can use SDN, automation, scripting, all those things they will use, because you can see talented people, they are using the technology better than the those type of engineers who have less certification, or they have you know, and they have somewhat less certification, they have somewhat less experience, etc. So if company is spending money to hire talented people, that is a core. So apart from technology, investment over the people is also important. And that's why all the time we are seeing that CCI, people are hiring CCI, or now 3 into CCNP. For me, it's not equivalent, but again, CCI, you have golden number, CCNP you don't have. But in terms of knowledge, in terms of experience, if someone has done 3 into CCNP, then they are also as good as CCI as well, correct? Because they have diversified knowledge area. Great, guys. So I hope that you understand and you will get some gain that in which direction we should go and enhance our career. All right, so let me stop here. Thanks for watching. we are still discussing that how the job roles are changing. So suppose if someone has done the CCNA today, what he has to do under same umbrella, under same CCNA after 2-3 years. And that's the topic that we are going to discuss here. So the job role is changing, where we are standing and where we should stand. That's a very important thing that we are going to discuss, and why it's happening, changing, that we are discussing from previous videos as well. Now you can see here in the chart that what is the expectation and where we are standing at the moment. So you can see that Cisco engineers, they are leading in the network configurations. And again, this video that we are seeing here, that is related to network engineers. And that may be Cisco, Juniper, or any other vendor, but you can analyze this with respect to Cisco, and then you can apply with other vendors as well. Okay, so Cisco or other vendors, they are doing great in terms of network configuration, troubleshooting, design, and hardware deployment. And now, because there is shift in a paradigm, there is shift in networking. So now we have SDN, network programming, IoT, and cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is also one key area, because while we are moving inside the digitization, you have to understand the security threat nowadays with the newer framework like SDN or DNA, etc. What customers are doing, that they are directly getting exposed to the cloud, to the internet, to the public surroundings or public area. So that's very important key here, that as much as you are utilizing the online platform and data, you are exposed to public domain, and security is a threat. So you have to put tight security guideline to provide the security. And where Cisco engineers or other networking guys, they're lagging, still we are lagging in the cloud inside, because for cloud, again, you have to learn new things like AWS or Azure or Microsoft vendors and other different vendors who are the major player in the cloud. Analytics, digital innovation, and management automation. This is again one of the key area, and you will see that so many companies, so many vendors, they are creating management platform. Now management platform or orchestration platform we have in Cisco, like in DNA, you have DNA Center. For WAN, you have SD-WAN. For ACI, you have Epic Controller. So those are nothing but the management automation platform. Okay, great. Now you can see that CCNA job role. So 2018 and below, and you can think this as a range of 3 to 4 years. So I have given like 18, 19, and 20, but this is the futuristic scope of CCNA, and you can think in a realm of 3 to 4 years. So from 2020 till 2025 or 2024, what will be the expectation from CCNA engineer? They should be good in the troubleshooting, network configuration, network programming. Now, these are the new areas that has been added. Programming. Network configuration is something that they are doing it, but exposure is there, weightage is there more and more. So you do the network configuration with respect to programming. You write the Python program or a script, and with program you do the configuration. Or from the management platforms or the orchestration platforms, you can do the programming. That's the expectation, correct? So that is one of the key aspect that is changing. And even in terms of troubleshooting as well, from the network management platform, or from the script, from the tools, you can do the troubleshooting rather than doing the CLI thing. Correct. So that one thing, and again you can add policy management as well. So policy management, network programming, troubleshooting, T-shooting, and network configuration. Now for CCNP, you can see again. So from CCNP, you can see the journey has started like management automation. So you have DNA, you have SD-WAN, you have Epic controllers, you have other management tools, you have Insight tools, you have AI ops tools, different things you can go utilize for CCNP. So CCNP engineers can manage the entire infrastructure with the management automation platform or tools. Network programming. So these are going hand in hand. So you're doing the management automation with respect to APIs, with respect to tools that you have. And finally, you can see that one other key area, that project/ product management. So not only that you are managing the infrastructure, you are creating the design, etc., but you are managing the project as well. You are the team lead, you have this project, you have to complete it. Now the third variant, CCI, and you can see there are a lot of change here in the CCI. So CCI, they are not only doing the designing and the solution architect, etc., but they should also know network programming, management automation, security management, troubleshooting, the new innovation in terms of digitization, cloud provisioning, and project management. So you can see the area for CCI has grown a lot. It's not only that you can go and pass your CCI exam, theory plus lab, and your life is good. You have to check the network application project life cycle. So that means that not only the network, not only the application, but the application using that network, and that will fall under your bucket as a project, and you have to manage that project. What are the tools you can use? You can go and use the programming tools. You can go and use the automation tool, and you have to create a security framework in a way that inside your framework. So when you're putting the framework, you are putting the network, you are putting the application, you are taking help from the programming, you are taking the help from the management automation platforms, but everything should be glued inside security. So your framework actually is security, and everything, the security plus project, and everything is going inside security and the product. So if you ask me that what I recommend, I'm going to recommend you that for CCN engineer, what should be the target area, and for CCNP and CCI in the next slide. But as per the survey, you can see that survey is telling that cybersecurity weightage, those are critical. Those are going to be critical, 51%. And again, this is with respect to network admins or network engineers. So cybersecurity, network routing and switching, network design, virtualization, cloud, data center, and SDN. So you can have a mark at least up to this, even if you are interested in IoT and NFV network function virtualization, you can have a look. But what are the top key areas that you should look as a CCNA engineer, CCNP engineer? You can see at least 6 or 7 listed here. So for CCNA, check cybersecurity, RNS, cloud virtualization, wireless and SDN. Actually, this is new CCNA syllabus. So just go and follow the CCNA, new CCNA syllabus. But if you come inside CCNP, you will find so many things are there. And for CCNP, you can watch my recording, 1 10-minute video, that how the CCNA, CCNP certification got changed and what are the things we have inside the CCNP. But here you can see that if you are preparing for CCNP, you can go and check the cyber security section, route switch, virtualization, that will fall under CCNP data center, SDN. Now SDN is a broad term because for LAN you have DNA, for WAN you have SD-WAN, for data center you have ACI. So SDN you have here in DC as well, but data center, again, it's a big area. And then finally you have cloud, and cloud, obviously Cisco supporting cloud, but for cloud you have different big vendors as well, like Amazon, like Microsoft, etc. Still for CCNP, I will recommend that you should do CCNP first of all in core. Then you can go and check the routing stuff. You have advanced routing inside CCNP. You can go and check CCNP in SD-WAN. You can go and check CCNP in security. You can go and check CCNP in wireless, in this order. Correct? Finally, coming to CCI, again, CCI is assumed to have one major area where you are creating the T. So suppose if you are doing CCI in security, so you are very good in security. If you are doing CCI in data center, you are good in data center, like that. But you can see the order. So if you go and do CCI in enterprise, you have to learn SDN first of all, SD-WAN, SDN, and DNA. That's the campus area network SDN. That's the DNAC. So these two things you have to learn for CCI enterprise. Network programming is something that whatever stream we have, we should know network programming. So automation and programming is the must. Then you can go and add these as electives, like after 2-3 years or next year and onwards, you can go and check security, cloud, data center virtualization. So it's up to us that what is our support area where we are working in an organization. According to that also we can prepare. And if you are looking for job change, then the topmost priority should be SDN. Either it's a DNA, SD-WAN, or ACI, and then you can go and check the programming. So if you add only two things, SDN and plus programming in your CV, 100% you will get the call. And then again, if you add security features, cloud, virtualization, etc., those will be added advantage inside your CV. That is true with CCNP as well. If in CCNP, still I can see in the market huge demand for SD-WAN engineer, DNA engineer, ACI engineers. So if you have those things plus security plus programming, then it's well and good. Now this is the final slide. So you can see as per the market, and is the Chief Developer Officer, JDA Software, he is telling that recruiting has changed from looking for experts for looking athletes, people who can flexibly shift from one job to another job and work well on team. So now company, they are not looking for the experts, although they are looking for athletes. Okay, so that means that someone who is ready to learn new things after every 1 year, or maybe after every 15-16 months, they have the win-win situation. So what is your win-win situation? Learn new thing every day. Try at least to understand what is new is coming in the market and learn it, and then try to implement in coming months. So learn every week and try to implement every month. That's the key. Okay, and you have to create a solid foundational background for upcoming technology. Correct. So that's the well said. The recruiting had changed from looking for experts. So they are not looking for CCIs, and that's a hard term, loose term, but they are not looking for 100% SMEs, but they are looking for athletes who can learn and deliver. Not only that, you completed your CCI, you have done your hard work one time, and then you are thinking that you're relaxed. Correct? It's not the case here. It's saying that you have done your hard work and you're ready to do the hard work. Learn and deliver. Learn, adapt, deliver. Like that type of model you have to work on. All right, so let's stop here. And I think you have understood that what is the requirement at this point of time in the market. Change where we are and what type of exam format will come in the examination. So we should know about our exam format, correct? Now we know about this concentration exam. So here you can see that what you need your written, you need your qualification to write the lab exam, correct? Now for that, we have the CCDC, um, uh, that is again DC core, and that you can see that CCNP, and then you can go to the lab exam. So you have your Cisco data center DC core exam with you have that certification. Now you are eligible for 8-hour difficult exam. Okay. Now what Cisco has done, because Cisco also has to change according to the strategy, according to the organization, correct? And now things have been changed quite drastically. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put one video that you should know about the marketplace. That video is related to marketplace, how things has been changed, where we are, and what we should study. That also very much required, because you will get the motivation out of it. If you are motivated, then you will go for all this CCI level of examinations, correct? So we should know that how the organization is moving and why Cisco is doing changes in the certification, why behind the scene. Even for all the concepts and the knowledge that we should get or we are getting, we should know why behind that, why it is happening, why this is like this, why the traffic is going like this, why so much trouble, etc. Correct? Now, if you go and watch that video that I'm going to place after this recording, you will find that where the organization is going, actually organization is moving towards automation, software defined networking, cloud integration or cloud computing, security. These are the core areas. These are the core pillars: security, cloud, automation, and and one more thing, correct? That I told you. So now these four core areas that we have, correct? As a CCI engineer, our job role is also changing, correct? So as a engineer, it is expected like CCNA engineer will do CCNP work, CCNP engineer will do CCI work, and CCI engineer should do design, deployment, optimization, automation, solution architect, etc. And that's the reason you can see here that the lab that is focusing on full life cycle related to design, deploy, automation, operate, optimize. Correct? Automation. You will not escape from automation. We have to learn, understand automation. Everywhere you'll find the automation, and obviously the CCI engineer should do the design and solution architect, all those things. Correct? So that's the key thing here. Now you can see the syllabus inside CCNP. This is actually CCNP, but we are going to focus inside DC core. Once we complete the DC core, then we'll quickly go inside CCI syllabus. Then we'll go and learn about ACI. We'll go and learn about automation. We'll go and learn about other stuffs as well. So DC core, and then directly going to the CCI data center 3.0. Okay, so that's your syllabus in high level, correct? Now the exam format, the exam that I cleared, that was also very difficult, and at that time we have diagnosed, troubleshoot, and configuration. So you should pass your diagnosed, you should pass your troubleshoot, you should pass your configuration, correct? So it was like that in three categories. So first 60 minutes related to diagnose, then 2 hours related to troubleshoot, and suppose if we have your 3 hours, suppose if you complete those tasks within 3 hours, then in this 5 hour you are getting some more time. So suppose 1 hour was fixed related to diagnose, but in this 2 hours, so 2 plus 7, 2 plus 5 is 7. So in this 2 hour, you are getting some credit, time credit. So 1 hour is fixed. That means you have to complete troubleshoot and configuration 2 plus 5. That's the 7. And if you complete in for example 1 hour or 1 hour 30 minutes, so you have some plus 30 minutes or 45 minutes for your configuration. So you can focus more on configuration. Now, one good thing about CCI data center is that so many things have been changed inside GUI. Now, while you are doing the configuration with respect to CLI, it is taking much time than doing that configuration with respect to GUI thing, correct? But that doesn't mean that level of competition, level of examination has anything. Only thing is that you are saving time, but again, you have to learn the GUI way. Or this time you have automation as well. So I always tell everyone that there are three generations: CLI, then GUI, and then automation. With CLI, one by one you are doing the thing. With GUI, it's some sort of automation in CLI, and with automation is script will do each and everything for us. Correct. So it's like generation is moving like this, and in automation we are generally talking about APIs and APIs call and etc. So all the SDN fabrics, they have rich API. So CLI, let me write it, CLI, and then GUI, and then API. As a network engineer, we have all these three tools. We should know all these three. Now coming back to the CCI new format, you can see that here what you have to do, here you have technology core track, CCI track practical, and that will give you the CCI certification, the golden numbers, correct? So you have two things. And again, I'm going to break this in more and more detail. You will understand, learn this more and more. But the core thing here is this, about this new certification, is that you have module. So for example, I have module 1 and module 2. Module 1 I have to pass, module 2 also I have to pass. This is something like your lab. But in module 1 also you have to do some sort of troubleshooting. You can see the module 1 is design and module 2 is deploy, operate, and optimize. But thing here is this, that they are connected. So they have the progressive storyline, that's a Cisco term. Okay, so what I'm telling here is this, that module 1 and module 2 we have to pass. There is nothing that if we pass module 1, fail module 2, we fail module 2, pass module 1, fail, correct? And you have to get equal proportion of marking in that. So I'm going to cover these things in detail, so do not worry. In upcoming section you will understand this more and more and more. I'll go deep inside this. Even we'll go and check some sample questions as well, that Cisco is giving some sample reference questions that also will refer. Okay, great. So here you can see that module 1 and module 2, design, deploy, operate, optimize. But one thing is not written here is automation. Remember, automation is also there. You have to learn. Okay, so automation is there, and in my videos you will get knowledge about automation as well. So Cisco, actually this is not new thing. Cisco has one cycle earlier, Cisco software cycle, where they are telling PID something OO, PIDO, plan, implement, design, operate, optimize, etc. like that. Okay, so here also you can see design. So as a CCI engineer, you should know design, solution architect, then deploy, means you can do the you should do the implementation, correct? So as a CCI engineer, you should know the deployment phase, how you can do the deployment. Once you do the deployment, you should know the operation thing, how you can use different automation to operate it, make the difficult task easy, or make the repetitive task with few automation script. Means suppose for example, to do a certain job via the manual work, it is taking one okay, I'll take 100 hours. So it is taking 100 hours. So for example, iOS upgrade, for examples, configuration management, baseline deviation management, configuration standardization, etc. Like those heavy lifting thing, that where you have to do this box by box in the older network, correct? Now here what you need to do with respect to a script, you run the script and iOS upgrade will happen. You run the script and the vulnerability assessment will done. You run the script and configuration management will happen, correct? And then obviously operate and optimize. So you do the operations, you do the optimizations. Means operations are doing, in optimization you create the script. And these cycles are, these cycles are not like a straight line. These are like, it will go here and it will come here. Again, if you have any improvement, you can go and again do the some redeployment, etc. So design, uh, do the tight design, correct? And then deploy, operate, and optimize. That's a key here inside the CCI. Great. So what we have done actually here, just overview of the syllabus, and then the overview of the exam. Again, we are going to do deep study inside this. Now, what you have to do, you have to go and watch one video I have dedicated after this, is related to change in the certification. Why we should follow this approach, why we should understand the design, deploy, operate, optimize. Why should we are looking for cloud integration, we are looking for automations, we are looking for security, etc. Okay, so go and watch that video, and after that we are going to start our video number 1 out of this 20 video nuggets or series. The video number 1, we will go and learn about the CCNA type of data center. Let us continue our discussion about the breakups we have. We are going to discuss about the DDO model. You have design, and you can see that you have do. That's D for deploy, operate, and optimize. So this time in CCI, you have DDO model. In DDO model, you can see that you have module 1 and module 2. So what will happen? So in module 1, you will get a diagram that you have to go and work on that. What are the things we have? We'll check in the upcoming slide. And then in module 2, again, you will get big diagram like we are getting in CCI exam, and where you have to deploy, operate, optimize. That's the DDO model of the exam. So in this DDO model of CCI exam, uh, it's not that in module 1, whatever diagram that you will get, the same you have to work on module 2. There should be some connection. So maybe some some routers or maybe some things are connected in between D and in between do topology. So D do, they will be connected, but maybe 10%, 20%, but not more than that. That means that you have independent D module and then you have independent do module, but in between the storyline will go. Okay, that means you can't ignore D and then you can work on do. You have to think that okay, D do like that. Okay, now in D module, there are some restrictions. And what restrictions we have in that? So let me quickly show you the restrictions that we have in the D module. The restriction here is that the backward navigation is disabled. So what does it mean? That means that you have to think about that particular big topology, but again is smaller than do. And then your creativity means related to that design question, we have to go and create, analyze, validate, optimize the network design. So that means that you have very much design related stuffs that you have to work on. That's inside the D. And the timing, you can see that it's 3 hours. Then once we complete the D, that's the design. So again, the same thing, the storyline, introduction, and overarching requirement restriction, main topology diagram, and current topology. Again, I told you that you'll get one topology, but it's not 100% that same topology you'll get in the do as well. So in do and in D and do, you may have different topology. Correct? Very less chance that in D and do you have same topology. So maybe a small portion, or maybe 30% of thing you are doing in D, and then a 70% you have to do in do. Okay, great. So now we have do model, design, operate, and optimize. So in design, operate, and optimize, as you know, that when you are talking about optimize, your automation scripting will come into the picture. Deploy means that whatever points you have related to design, now you can deploy and then you can operate. Correct? Deploy and operate means it is ready for the operation. So certain task will be there. So check this thing is working, check this thing is working, check reachability is there, check prefixes are learning. Those things will be there. Now, when we are talking that SD-WAN and DNA as a core, and precisely you have SD access inside DNA, and again SD-WAN. So that means you have some border routers in between, correct? So SD-WAN and the DNA devices can work as a border gateways or border router, and in between you have to uh, put or exchange some sort of prefixes, etc., and then you have to operate that. So design, that's a D, and inside do, deploy, operate, and optimize. In final thing, that's the optimization. So you will get some questions here. Now, in this point, your points will be shown. So whatever you are solving, you'll get, okay, 2 marks, 3 marks, 1 marks, etc. Correct? So that's the thing. One thing is hidden from you, like the design, where you can't see the points. You can't go back as well. And the other section, that's your do model, where you can see the points, you can see the progress, and you have to work on different aspects. Okay, so here, what is this? What and how? So again, um, you may have the same topology, diagram, IP addresses, same set of devices built upon the same high level design, but maybe in the D. So you have D and do again. So in D, you may have small portion of the diagram, and do you may have bigger portion, bigger picture of diagram, and they can work as independently, but there should be some connection in between. So you have to understand, see, Cisco always check your knowledge about greenfield and brownfield deployment. So maybe you're doing PNP, ZTP, etc. Either it's a DNA or SD-WAN. So that will come under how you have done the design related to ZTP or PNP. Correct? So design, and then inside deploy, how you can go and easily deploy it and then operate it. Correct? So the the main thing here is that whatever study that we have done with respect to our existing WAN, SD-WAN, and DNA, those things in a puzzle format you will get. But again, you will get 8 hour time, and that is actually sufficient if you have good practice, if you have good knowledge. So don't worry about that. Just D and do 6-7 times before exam. So uh, go and watch all these 20 video series that um, I have created. You will get one by one, and then while before just before your exam. So once your concept is clear 100%, just before your exam, you have to work on lab and practice and exercises, etc. So you can work on the lab. You can go for boot camp. Again, I'll provide boot camp as well, and then easily you can assess yourself that yeah, you can do it, and you have to go and crack your exam. All right, so let's stop here, and after this you can continue your study. So after this you'll get a good amount of informative videos. Please do watch those videos, complete your knowledge area, create your knowledge base, and again with D and do we have to pass the CCI exam.